just don't quit. You gotta drop it so I can throw it. Drop it and I'll throw it. What is up? Saturday morning. It is Hobby News Daily Live. Just remember, someone's always watching. Got a lot of great content today. First of all, we're going to talk about not my tie. Not my tie. That is not my tie, guys. I'm telling you, I know tie. It's not tie. Fanatics influencers already making an impact. Favorable grades, baby. Don't ever think it's about accuracy. Why do you think it's about accuracy? It's like thinking your life is perfect. You want a favorable life, not a perfect life. Nonsense. You know, if you listen to the wrong silos, you're going to never get the right information. You got to always broaden yourself. Listen to more people than one. That's all I'll say. We'll get into that in a little bit too. But thanks for stopping by the channel. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Hobby News Daily, live on YouTube almost every day. Life interrupts. But you check us out. I'll be back to check out comments. Thanks, guys, for being here. Let's go and jump into the presentation. Ow, damn it. Got a puppy dog with me. And he's in land shark mode right now. Ouch. Chasing cardboard. Now, I want to point out a few things. I titled mine Not My Tie in caps because, as you can see, chasing cardboard is in all caps as well. I bring that to your attention because when you go over here to this contact, this comment that was in the chat Thursday night, chasing cardboard is not all in caps. Now, that's where I'm going to start my story today, is that I was in the conversation, or I was listening. I'll tell you, I listen late a lot of times to live so I can go to exit. Anyway, I'm listening. I saw this comment from Ty come up. I'm like, that's not Ty. There's no way it's Ty doing that. And I almost texted directly then, but I did not. I have texted him in the past. We talked a little bit about this incident. I'll see a little text message back and forth. I'm not going to embellish here. Anyway, that just looked suspicious. Later on, after a couple other texts, I heard their responses back. The funniest text was someone saying, Ty, go to bed, you're drunk. I'm thinking, that's just not Ty. I've not been able to prove this. And I left the damn music on. Let me go back here and turn the music off. There we go. I forgot about. Oh, I think the microphone wasn't even in either, huh? How bad was that microphone? Wow, that sucks. Okay. Let's start again with my tie. Chasing cardboard, all caps here. I'll just bring summary with everybody. Chasing cardboard here, not all caps. See the difference there? So my point is I don't think that's the same account. I think someone spoofed the Chasing Cardboard account and tried to stir some muck up here in the Sports Card Radio live the other night, which I think is interesting. I'm trying to, who would do that? Who has most to gain? And there's so many potential, people. Heck, I would be a good person to be a suspect for it. It's not my style. That's not what I do. I knew there was a Zaggy Yes account out there a while that was kind of like trolling Ziggy No. Not my account. Not my account. I'll tell you which accounts are mine. I have the Funko account. I have the, what's the other account I have? Funkos. I have Michael Seguino. I have a hobby. Yeah, I have, all my accounts are pretty public. I don't think anything that no one knows about. Anyway, want to bring this to your attention. I will be doing a little more research into this, but I'd love your thoughts. Like, why are people doing this? Why are people trolling each other? How vindictive it gets in our community, man. I do think, I'll be honest, here's my true honest opinion. I think a lot of this is done for likes and subscribers and for growth. It really is. Even bad is good, right? Bad publicity gets people to watch your channel, subscribe, see what's going to happen next, and they'll forget they subscribe, and they'll be a subscriber forever. I want to talk about this, which is interesting. This is a little bit similar topic. This is Opossum Bud. Man, I'm a huge fan of Opossum Bud. I'm going to simply say, look, I was Opossum Bud's 1,000th. That was the sub that made him 1,000. And not that that's a big deal, dude. There were a ton of people lined up to do that. I just happened to be the guy who clicked 1,000. He's at 14,000 already. He's on fire. And I love his content. He has a great way of telling you the truth, making you think, making you laugh. I hope to more like him. Anyway, in this video, he talks about kind of a similar thing with the rock autographs and these potentially fake, I think they're artist autographs in the Pokemon community. He talks about the boom in the Pokemon community, everything changing the Pokemon community. I will say, I have really started thinking about getting a couple boxes of Pokemon and getting into Pokemon. I know it's not Pokemon, but that's what I'm going to call it. I have young kids. Pokemon's cool. I don't know where to go, where to start, but I'm definitely interested. And again, come back to this. I love the parallels that we see in the Pokemon world versus the hobby world, right? So he's talking about these potentially bad autographs. And we have kind of this potential, like I'll be honest, I understand the market for TDMs and why they never get authenticated or graded. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on about, grading an autograph. Just because a PSA says an autograph's authentic does not mean it's authentic. Just because it's in a PSA grade, it says authentic, does not mean it's authentic. Like, there's still subjectivity. Like, honestly, man, I'll just put it this way. Unless you watch someone sign something, you don't know who signed it. It's just the truth. I don't care who tells it to you. Your grandfather can sit there and say, well, I was there when blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe your grandpa was drinking. Snapping turtle, would you stop? Damn. Can't believe I didn't have the sound on earlier. Probably lost all 3 of my viewers. Cool video here from Flipping Steve. This one is on PSA, BGS, SGC, testing them in water in the pool. I'm gonna give you a quick story. BGS and PSA do well. Now I knew BGS would do well because it has the card in a little encapsulated seal. PSA I heard was going to do that, but I've never seen that happen. I'm surprised PSA did well on this demonstration. I think PSA floated. I think if you sunk a PSA, it's gonna fill up. I'm gonna have to test that later on. What I enjoyed about this, though, is although it was well done, creative, good content, and again, it did make me think to myself that I don't want to say this the wrong way, but the longer term collector community who's been here for a while still love BGS. Right, we got BGS tests. I'm gonna show you another BGS thing in a moment. So Beckett's still strong amongst the collector community. It's still our second favorite. Okay, I want to bring to your attention 2 examples of what I want to refer to as Fanatics influencers. Okay, let me say this. Why was this video made? When you watch the Slab Stocks video and the next video, I want you to ask yourself why was this made. Let me also say this too, Aaron. I'm a fan. I like Slab Stocks. I really am. I like what you guys are doing. But, and I even said this in the thing, I hope you're as critical of Topps when they fuck shit up as you are right now of Panini. You seldom see influencers come out and call out manufacturers. Seldom. Very seldom do you see that. The only person I see that Retro Hoops is always bitching at Panini, but he never bitches at Topps, right? And that's just he's a basketball guy. He's got his reasons for doing that. I'm not trying to upset Retro Hoops. I'm going to talk about him a little bit later on in an interestingly positive light. But Slab Stocks, I know you're on the Fanatics Live app now. I know you're a breaker now. I hope you are as honest and critical about Topps when they fuck shit up too, because Topps just screws a lot of stuff up. That's all I'm going to say. But coming out, this is a $1,000 ripoff, new Panini sports card release. That's being pretty damn bold. I mean, you have a really, really broad reach. You have a lot of people who follow you. I'm not talking about just the 17,000 followers on YouTube. I'm talking about your Instagram community, everything. I follow you guys, man. I mean, it got my attention. I listened and think, well, what's he talking about? But then I thought to myself, well, why are you doing this? Why are you making this video? Why are you being so public on Panini right now? Because Topps has screwed some shit up too. The other one to bring to your attention is here. Santiago Sports did this really good video, and I want to give him a lot of credit. This great video about giving back, giving cards to the community. He goes to a football camp. He gives away cards to kids. He gives packs to kids. He sets up for these kids. A few things that stood out to me. Okay. There's an autograph session going on. I assume he got access to some pretty good autographs that I'm sure he will probably profit off of in the future, which is fine. And that's cool. I mean, you did a charity event. You get a little something on the side. That's you can flip. That's cool. Here's what I'm going to again ask at the end. Who did you make this video for? Because in my opinion, you even say at the end, this is how you grow the hobby, Fanatics, Panini. You got to do this. Well, I can do this. You can do it. Like, who are you doing this video for? This video is clearly made for him to talk to Fanatics. I think more Fanatics than Panini, because he wants something. Maybe he wants to be on a Fanatics Live. He wants more distribution. He wants to be, I don't know. But to me, dude, that's exactly what I'm sitting there thinking to myself. Again, these are videos that I look at. These are influencers talking to or on behalf of or for Fanatics. You see what I'm saying? Subtly for Fanatics. And I'll even say this, Ziggy. You've been doing videos on Fanatics Live. I have been doing videos on Fanatics Live. But I do them because I'm critical of it. And I'm participating in it. And I want to share my participation. One thing I want to do on my channel, I want to participate in stuff and share with you critical thoughts, what I see, what I believe. I'll even say this too. I share them with the companies that I'm critical about. You know, I encourage Fanatics. I've reached out to them and said, look, I'm happy to sit down with you and give you my thoughts as a person in the break. You're just listening. So here's the thing about Fanatics Live. You know, they're just listening to the breakers. I don't think they've polled anybody who participates in breaks, because I'll tell you right now, I am not impressed with the Fanatics Live app at all. I'm not. I'll do a bigger review on it later on, but it's not something that I'm going to be excited about in the future. Oh, you little stinky dog. Come over here. Come on. Come on. Come over here. I'll likely use it. Like, I'll probably likely have to use Whatnot. One quick update. I do know one of the breakers that I use on eBay, and I've noticed this, a lot of other breakers that I use on eBay are still selling break spots on eBay. And when I reach out to two of them, they said they were approved recently, and they can continue to do breaks, which I think is really interesting. So I don't think eBay is being as tight as maybe we thought. Like, it's not an all forever banning. I think maybe you can't come in as a new breaker now and start breaking on eBay. But if you have a history of breaking on eBay in the past and maybe didn't get contacted or haven't applied, I would recommend checking into that. Because like I said, several breakers that I know who I bought Monopoly from are still breaking Monopoly on eBay. So just something to think about, which makes me go think back to what I said earlier, man. Mascot would be a great way if I could list breaks, right? And I'll tell you how you do that, Mascot or breakers. List base PSA cards for break spots instead of and say, you know, you get all the cards and this PSA card for this break spot, right? So like if I'm going to buy the Jazz, I get a base Jazz card. Oh my God, you are such a pain in the ass, little doggy. He's a great dog, actually. He just does not stop. Relentless little land shark. Check this out. I want you to check out Baseball Card Collector, Investor, Dealer. Just posted a video this morning about grading, and specifically what he does, he talks about cards that he graded with PSA that he had issues with. The PSA didn't grade or either graded poorly, in his opinion. So we crossed them over, cracked them himself. He didn't send them to crossover. He cracked them himself and sent them to Beckett. All I want to bring to your attention right now is think about that. Baseball Card Investor, Dealer, Collector didn't crack his cards and send them over to SGC. He didn't crack his cards and send them over to HGA or Tag or any of the other guys. Well, and I know there's a couple of reasons why he didn't, right? Because Tag doesn't accept the older cards. SGC probably because they don't do autographs. But my point is, guys, there's still really only two options in the hobby. There's Beckett and there's PSA. And that's not a good thing. Like I've been using PSA. I've embraced PSA, but we need good competition. And these little ankle biters are attacking each other instead of making a strong number too. Like maybe we need some consolidation in that market space. And I'll also say this too. I really feel like SGC's entire growth in the last 3 years has all been because of YouTube. All because of YouTubers. All because of YouTubers. Okay, that's not fair. 90% of it was because of YouTubers. It's not because of some marketing campaign they did. It's not because some direct mailer. It's not because they were at certain booths. It's not because they have the best product. I mean, for example, the whole tuxedo shit. Dude, when's the last time you wore a tuxedo? And were you happy about it? Unless you were getting laid that night, you're like, man, I fucking hate this tuxedo. Okay, so tuxedos are not good things. But somebody thought that was great. Everything looks weirder in a tuxedo. And where you saw this is in all of this SGC subbers. None of them talked about autograph authentication and how they don't do it anymore, right? They all were, SGC's great. SGC's fastest time to the market. Yeah, get your card back, get it graded quickly, and sell it as quick as you can so someone else can crack it and sell it on a PSA slab, make more money. I just don't get it. No one's been critical of SGC. They've never built a set registry. 3 years, all this money they've been making. You can calculate how much money they make. No set registry. Still, no set registry. I don't even understand that. Like, again, and I'll just say this too. They got on Cardboard Chronicles with Josh May of 2020 when PSA had just shut down. Okay, PSA shut down in March. He gets on in May and says, "Is that correct?" And this is the shutdown for COVID. This was not the shutdown for them having too many damn cards, by the way. This is the COVID shutdown in 2020. We'll take your cards because they're in Boca, Florida. Really, really great place to be. Beautiful area. And they got pummeled, right? They had eight people working for SGC, and they got pummeled. And then a year later, if you remember, when they finally were kind of competing again and PSA did close their doors, remember this? PSA closed their doors. What did SGC do? We're going to charge $75 per card. We don't know what to do. We're just going to charge $75 per card. This company, yeah, PSA and you back it. I don't know why I ranted so damn long on that. Okay. Speaking of PSA and Beckett, great video here by Retro Hoops, who takes a video from, and I think it is Poke Knowledge cards, and I wish he had the entire link here. Maybe he does. I think he just has this link. I couldn't find the entire conversation. Maybe it's here. Oh, here he is. The whole chat right there. Okay, I'm going to click on that. I haven't listened to the whole chat. I will say I saw Neo posted a similar thing. I'm going to give Retro Hoops credit for posting this first yesterday and bringing this to my attention. It's a really good conversation with Nat Turner talking about grading. And one that comes up about are they as strict as they were before? And what Nat says, which is very creative, well-spoken, is I think we've just been enforcing the standards more. As if I wasn't enforcing it earlier. It's kind of like if the police come to you and say, dude, is anybody drinking here underage? And you go, absolutely not, sir. We ID everybody. And and you go, yeah, but weren't you IDing everybody before? And you're like, but now we actually check the fucking IDs. I don't know. It's like, what, before you had some guy looking at the ID going, up, you look 18, or you look 21, come on in. You look 21, you look coming. Weren't checking them, really weren't verifying, vetting the person, right? That's one way to do it. Another way is just, yeah, come on in. That's what I think about with that. And I bring that to your attention because, guys, that's why if you go back to the baseball card collector investor dealers video, he's going to show you another card that gets a subjective grade of a 5 and a 6, and later comes back a Beckett 9.5. All I can tell you there is that, first of all, I think PSA is tracking numbered cards and autograph cards. So if it gets graded again, they already know what was graded before, and they're just going to ding it or regrade it the same grade. I don't think you're ever going to get a better grade on a serial numbered or autograph card at PSA anymore. I could be wrong on that. I might want to try that as a test sometime. So I think that's what they're doing. They're more AI and more technology to streamline the system. But it all comes back to favorable grades. Favorable grades. If you think the grade's bad, crack it. Submit it to somebody else. Get their opinion. Buffer that damn thing. Send it over to Kirk's Card Care. Call Striving Tens. Wax that bitch. Call Mr. Minty. Do whatever the hell you want to do. If they can't detect it, it's completely fair. That is what the law of the land is. And I'll say law loosely. That is what the grading company said. If we can't detect it, man, it didn't happen. Right? So that's what I would suggest there on the slabbing. Again, and I bring that up because Retro does, his comment here is that at the end of this, he says he's not going to use PSA because they're too inconsistent. I admire you, dude, for standing on that hill and dying on that hill, but don't do that. It's kind of like the red pill, blue pill. Just accept the fact this is a subjective grading, and it's all about Wizards and Magic. And you can like your tuxedo ones, but they're no different than the PSA ones. They're still Wizards and Magic, dude. They're not consistent Wizards and Magic. That'd be called tag. I mean that. Like, SGC had 8 people 3 years ago. You think they're consistently grading the same as they were 3 years ago or 4 years ago? No. I mean, dude, their whole staff is brand new. Think about that. How can SGC have consistency over the years when 3 years ago they had 8 people and today they have over 100? So is consistency like a sprint? Consistency lasts 3 years? I mean, PSA's consistency is 30 years of screwing shit up. Last video here. Sports card nonsense. I think it's terrible that these guys do such a poor job researching. I mean, they have interns, right? They've talked about it. They bragged about it. They make so much money in influencing. I don't want to hurt or say anything mean to Mike Gio in these comments. I have been exchanging some text messages. I try not to hurt people's feelings too much. Apparently, I said some things that hurt his feelings. He said, "You said what you said about me. I'm not talking anymore." So I hurt his feelings, which I think that might be a younger generation thing. Like, you guys have very thin skin, dude. My generation, we grew up with sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. I mean that. Like, dude, call me names. Get in my head. Let's debate. Let's go at it. and it was okay. It made you a stronger, more mentally sound person. Today we have a lot of. Anyway, I don't want to go negative on here. What I didn't like about this is they come out and they very critical of Fanatics Live. And again, this is Mike Geo, who I want to point out owns Card Shop Live, which is a competing app to Fanatics Live. I think that's important that people should understand about this. This is not just somebody in the sports card industry making comments about what's going on in the sports card industry. This is even about a breaker who didn't get included. This is about a guy who creates a competing solution. And the misinformation that he belts out of his mouth, I don't want to say slanderous, but it's terrible, dude. He also quotes a good friend of mine, Coach Co, which again I think is terrible. He takes Coach Co and he uses some of his quotes. And I remember listening to Coach Co talk, and I reached out to Coach Co about some of the things that he put in his video, like talking about you have to have 3 cameras in Fanatics. There's absolutely no gambling of Fanatics. There's no wheel on Fanatics, all this stuff. And I said to him right then, and this is like earlier in the week, maybe last week, I said, no, there's actually a wheel. They use it. They do have a random. It's their own randomizer that Topps has set up that you can't really see. It's a weird randomizer, but they do have some randomizing functionality. They are still working on how they would split cards. I gave them all this stuff. I also said there's still no 3 cameras being used. So Coach Co and I talked. Coach Co even told me that they still don't have Fanatics Live in Canada. So he can't even view it, because I was like, hey, why don't you just join and see yourself? We can chat about it. He couldn't do it. So my point to this is sports card nonsense. What are you talking about? You misquote Coach Co, and you do this like a week ago when you got very early information. And then you don't go out yourselves and do it. And again, this is one of those ones where you're kind of an anti-Fanatics influencer, aren't you? Aren't you? It's like these guys can't be more Team Panini than anybody else right now, because and it'll be interesting to see what happens, because he's going to have to kiss the ring of Fanatics to get his allocation of Topps products at the same time as competing with Fanatics Live. Very interesting. I'm sure they went to Fanatics and tried to sell their product to them too. I guarantee it. There's no way they didn't. And that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these guys, right? I'll tell you, and if they're credit, Chris and Josh, I don't know how much they got for Card Ladder, but they were smart to cash out quickly. They built that company within a 3-year window. In fact, it was within 2 years, right? Built it, flipped it in 2 years. I have to applaud that, dude. I do. I applaud that. As critical as I am of them, I applaud that. Okay, I'm going to check out here. I think that's all I want to chit-chat about. Anything else, Iggy? No. I tell you what, man, I'm posting a video on my Funko NFTs, man. These things are fire. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. I freaking love them, too. I'm really glad I stayed with this. When other people doubted. $61 for this premium pack. So it's already doubled. Why is everybody hating on Lucas? Why is Lucas there at $32, dude? Let me tell you, too. Superman 23 was pretty low, too. Anyway, I'm going off a tangent here. I don't want to bore you guys with this crap. Let me stop this. Stop. Come back. Chit chat. Good morning, Rose. Thank you for joining, Rose Rips. Are you breaking on eBay? You breaking any of this stuff changing, affecting you? How's your breaking world going? I did see that. In fact, some people talked about that. And here's the thing that I think is funny. Everybody talked about that like it was magic. Did you see the life-changing hobby's greatest? In fact, I will say, and I love Dakota, dude. Dakota's a good guy, but he's like, this is the greatest thing for the year. No. I still think the greatest thing of the year was Monopoly. That's just me. And no one's going to understand that for like years. I'm like, damn, that Monopoly product was amazing. So he was right. But the ComC thing. So ComC did that before. They used to do Beckett, and I graded with them, and that was great. But they always were expensive, so it wasn't like they were preferred. I would say, if you think about it, like remember Star Stock. Star Stock was peaking when they had just introduced PSA straight to grading, and they were going to be able to take Star Stock A's, which they had screened for you, which is better in my opinion. And we're going to have them graded. And then then what happened? PSA closed down, Star Stock's volume stopped, and the whole thing came to an end. So you could argue that PSA killed Star Stock, man. And I will say, in this whole thing, when you look at companies, ComC will do very well. I still am surprised that they're still lagging on anything really new. Like all they're doing is taking things that others did in the boom and just adopting them. You know what I'm saying? Like, COMC isn't adding anything new. Their interface is still the same old ancient interface. It could definitely be updated. There's a lot of things I would like to see more from the COMC interface, but it is what it is. Yeah, right. Only 20 alerts tell me this. Good morning, Orlando. Good morning, Flawed Thinker. Hope you're doing well. I'm down here in the Midlothian area today, not in the same area I normally am in. Flawed Thinker and I are in the same neighborhoods. No breaking for me. Still collecting a little retail ripping. Yeah, I understand. Me, I've definitely gotten more into breaks, but I'm selective. Like I only been breaking Monopoly. Every now and then a hobby box with Monopoly. And I'm preparing for Chrome. In fact, I've kind of stopped Monopoly breaking. I'm detoxing my system from Monopoly. Going through some shakes, and I'm getting ready to start hitting on that Chrome crack pipe, baby. I'm probably gonna hit that Chrome crack pipe next Wednesday at the National. I figure I'll start there by buying a personal box or two where you get the silver packs and everything. Probably rip it there, have some fun there. And then when I get back and Chrome settles in, I'll decide what breaks to get into. I think what's going to be cool about that is that you can see value in a lot more teams, right? The Angels and the Atlanta Braves being so high are pulling some of the cost off of some of the other rookie teams. There's a lot of rookie teams in this. So I think this is going to be a fun Chrome break. Again, I'm also selective. I'm not going to be chasing everything because what I chase, I grade. I grade to sell, raw to sell. And then I PC a few things on the side, but raw to sell. COMC is easy for sellers. It is, but I've always been a seller. It's funny. I mean, even during the boom, I've always been a first to bottom seller. I don't like when I send cards to COMC, I send them with the intent to sell them. So I normally look at whoever's priced mine and whatever's lowest, I'm as equal to or lower. With some exception. I don't like to be lower than 50 cents. I'm like, if I just paid 50 cents at the goddamn card process, I'm going to keep the card on the platform, right? I'm not going to sell for less than 50 cents. But I will be between, I'll be the guy under $1 a lot of times just to sell the card, to move the card. If I pay 50 cents to process it, I make 25 cents on the card, that's fine. I'm moving. Another thing I do on COMC for me as a seller is I do a lot of portfolio selling, right? So I will send cards there, I'll send cards there, and then I'll build up a mass 500, 1,000, 2,000 cards, and then I'll just build some portfolios, baseball portfolio, football portfolio, mixed portfolio, and just sell portfolios. And I sell them at a discount, so they attract buyers, people, and I'll put some good chase cards in there. Does that make sense? Chase cards, not really the right word, but I'll put some good cards of value in there, right? That they some, PSA slab cards or something else I picked up or submitted in. And then I'll put a bunch of, I won't say junk cards, but, more base cards. So basketball card might have a Stephen Curry rookie draft card, right, from Prestige, and I might have a bunch of base LeBron cards in there over the years, so that makes sense. But I do love COMC for selling. I don't buy on COMC at all. I won't say at all, but sell them. A lot of people love it. I was thinking, here's what COMC needs to do. And again, I'm not into this. It's just not something I have any interest in, and that is the trading aspect, right? Both at VeraSwap and Arena Club are both offering trading as one of their key differentiators, right? If COMC were to introduce that, I think that could help be a game changer. And again, I'll just put back to this. I actually thought about meeting with Tim at the National. They have times you can meet with Tim. I think, but why would I want to? I mean, honestly, I'm just a user. I could care less what he does with the platform. But I would tell you this. I would invest in redoing the entire platform, make it more modular like that, because you could then bring in things like that, right? If the cards are more like objectized, and I don't want to go too deep in this, but they could be bought, sold, graded, and traded. You could have trade value. You could have his own marketplace. His thing is he wants to keep the cards on platform. Once they're there, he wants to keep them there. It is the only platform that I vault with. It's the only platform I vault with. I don't like my cards not being in my control. I feel like I'll lose value on them when they're not in my control. I honestly do. I don't know if anybody else feels that. I totally feel like the value of my card goes down when it's not in my hands to sell it the way I want to sell it. When I had cards, a Star Stock, there was some I made money with, but many of them I feel like I lost value on, right? And I feel like that's why I haven't done the vaulting. I've looked at Golden and PWCC, and I'll probably go with PWCC vaulting, which is interesting because it's Fanatics now. I hate PWCC, but now that it's Fanatics who owns it, if I was going to vault, I'd probably use PWCC. And even that, again, I like I said, my paranoia is I feel like you lose value when you go there. I never go to the flea market down there, but I have heard that. Someone told me, oh, you should pick up cards down there. I think you can also sell cards down there too, but I think you just take a beating on selling them. No, it's not. It's not easy to make money on ComC. I would say it always amazed me. I was very impressed with Brad, the comeback card investor. If you guys remember him, I thought he was one of the best using the ComC platform. Now, in fairness, the dude was also at the time in 2020 when the shit was going crazy, but he did a very good job of showing videos for him buying and selling his buy price, his sell price. I like that about him. That really set him aside from many other people. I thought he put together some of the best ComC content. Like I said, I wasn't doing that. I had no interest in buying those cards. I was a guy who, I remember during 2020, I transferred hundreds of cards from ComC over to StarStock because they were going for like 10x more on StarStock, and I made a ton on StarStock. I mean, I made a good amount. A ton is relative. I made a good amount of money on StarStock because they were the whole StarStock A grading threat. But anyway, Hobby Hotline is starting soon, isn't it? Or is it already on, man? Did I already miss Hobby Hotline? Let's go see. I'm definitely going to be joining the Hobby Hotline crew this morning. Say hi to those guys. Yeah, 11 o'clock. I also, I will be at the National on Thursday only. And I'm not going there like, I don't know, to buy any cards. I'll buy some Chrome. I will look at what gives me the best deal, like some of those redemptions and stuff like that. Like if Leaf has a good redemption program and I can buy a good product that I like, I might buy something there. Definitely going to buy some Chrome. So I'll probably buy sealed wax if anything. I'll probably take some cards to trade or sell and or to vault. And what I mean by that is if eBay was taking submissions, I might drop off cards for their... No, I don't know if I'd submit with their vault right now with the whole naming thing. But I will drop some cards up at DC 87 to consign. I might drop some ComC cards if it depends. I don't want to carry too much stuff up. My cards are heavy. And I'm only going up for Thursday. Thanks, Rose. Have a great day, man. Thanks for joining. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and drop off anyway. Like I said, I'll be on what are this guy's called? Hobby Hotline in about 30 minutes. Peace out. Have a really great day, man. Enjoy the hobby. Do some fucking fun hobby stuff today. I don't know what it is, but do something fun. A couple ideas myself.